Hey friends, Justin here, winding down for bed, but I want to check in with you about the Wheel of Time, episode 4. This episode was an hour long. It was a movie. And I like that. There's so much information, there's so much source material to pack in that it's necessary. This episode was a bit meandering. I found myself checking in and out a few times, especially when like Perrin and Egwene were with the Tinkers. I feel that a lot of the material you have to have read the source material. You have to have read the books to follow along with what's going on. What the Tinkers are talking about, the different colors of the Ajas and what they mean. There's such a tapestry or a kaleidoscope of scenes and things happening that to focus in on what's important, it might be difficult for some. But for those of us who are longtime lovers of Robert Jordan and the Wheel of Time, an hour episode, it was just fabulous. We open in Gillidan, and Logain is taking the city. He convinces the king to follow him and his men. And, the sisters, especially the Reds, are out on the hunt for Logain. He's building a following. He's already proclaimed himself to be the Dragon Reborn. And so that kind of put a beacon on him. The desire for greatness, the desire to be proclaimed as the Great One or the Dragon Reborn. Maybe a disqualifier, as I never picked up on that in the books. But as Moiraine is talking to Logain, she decides after he interjects his ego that this isn't the dragon. Couldn't be. Because the dragon will be a reluctant hero. The dragon will not be full of ego and proclamations and full of prophecy and all of these things. It will just be apparent by their power and their influence and what have you. The dark friend that Tom Marilyn kills, she makes an interesting statement that the Dragon Reborn is one of the 5 of you. What's interesting about that is that there are only 4 of them. Ran, Egwene, Perrin, and Mat. They're the only 4 that went on this journey. So who is the 5th that could possibly be the dragon? And as the episode goes on, Nynaeve is brought more and more back into the fold of the story. We move a little bit away from Rand and kind of the main characters that we followed. And now, we're focused on, following Nynaeve and Moiraine and Lan, and all of the groups and all of the factions have kind of spread out into different groups. Nynaeve is learning the ways of the Aes Sedai. She's learning how they move, how they interact. She notices that Liandrin is a snake, As careful, I love Nynaeve. As careful as these women are, as conniving as these women are, they can't put anything over on Nynaeve. She's got to be my favorite character in this series. Having read the books and knowing the storyline and knowing what happens, it's really interesting where they're going, with the story. But I'm just loving the TV show version of Nynaeve. Now, she was incredible in the books, but I'm really liking this retelling. Rosamund Pike, she is stepping into the role, and more I'm just loving her as Moiraine. Moiraine is, to fantasy fiction, one of the greatest heroines that's ever been written. One of the most nuanced and strong and sensitive, and there's so many layers to Moiraine. And it's really difficult to, tell that story properly. Rosamund Pike, she's got this regal, queenly nature about her. And it fits. It fits. It's not, it's not perfect, but Robert Jordan wrote such a character. I mean, it's nigh on impossible to fill the role or the shoes of the character in the story. If you guys are interested in fantasy, if you do just like the audiobook of, The Eye of the World, which is the first book in the series of The Wheel of Time, you will have a fully fleshed idea of who Moiraine is in the first book of the series. And she is an incredible character who could easily sit on the Amyrlin seat, who chooses to be out in the world, who chooses to do works, much in the way that Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings. She chooses to be of service. And that ruffles the feathers of some, like the Reds, who have their own ideas. But she has nothing but respect from those Aes Sedai who are really, dedicated to service and to the mission of Aes Sedai, and the protection of the world. The Reds have taken their mission statement to heart, maybe not to heart, but they've egoized it and put their spin on it and added extra to it, and that's why they're no good. When Moiraine walks in and she talks to Logain, and he's put his spin and his ego and his swagger on being the dragon reborn, she realizes he's not it. Nynaeve comes in after all of the Aes Sedai have been attacked by Logain, and he's kind of taking over, and her anger causes such a channeling of this power. She's never touched the One Source before. Maybe in small ways and doing healings around Edmund's Field, the two rivers that we talked about in the last review. But never at this level, and never in front of different Ajas of the Aes Sedai. So this is going to be interesting to see the next episode, what they do with Nynaeve. They've obviously got to grab her and take advantage of her power. They don't know if she is the dragon reborn, at this point. They don't know if she can be trained as another sister. So this is going to be interesting. I'm interested to see where Egwene and Perrin go. I'm interested in Rand, Matt, and Tom, but at this point they're less interesting than Moiraine and Lan and that crew. What do you guys think? We didn't have any White Cloaks in this episode. The White Cloaks are just probably one of the most thrilling parts and well acted parts of the series. Our episode, guys, just loving it. I zoned in and out a couple of times, so I have some good stuff to go back during this week whenever I'm bored, and just kind of follow along on this wonderful journey again. And I look forward to doing that. What did you guys think about this episode? Did you have as much fun as I did? I can't wait till next week. As always, guys, give this video a like, a comment, and please consider subscribing to my channel for more Wheel of Time and movie and TV related content. I'll see you guys soon.